Welcome to the Dragon's Library, your source for games, movies, shows, and more. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dragon's Library. So I got back from the Suicide Squad a little while ago, and yeah, it's good. It's like the first DC movie I've liked in a while. Wonder Woman 84 was alright, pretty bad. It's really sad. The only DC movies I've liked up to this point were the first Wonder Woman and the Shazam movie. I like those two. But now I can say, hey, there's a third one I like. So that's good. Alright, so let's get into this. For those of you who don't know, Suicide Squad is a sort of maybe sequel to the Suicide Squad movie, but this is called The Suicide Squad, so it's different from that old Suicide Squad. They're really trying to make you forget that happened. The only two returning characters are Amanda Waller, Rick Flag, and Harley Quinn. Technically Captain Boomerang, but he's not around long enough for it to matter. That might be a bit of a spoiler, but it happened pretty early, so. Anyway, so I'm going to go into a brief non-spoiler explanation, then I'm going to talk about the basic quality of the movie, and then I'll be getting into my spoiler talk section. So, let's get started. This movie starts out with Amanda Waller assigning a group of, she meets this country infiltrated. They have this laboratory where they have potentially extraterrestrial technology or some biological component that they're researching with. Amanda Waller, representing this shadowy U.S. government type, gets together a bunch of super criminals from, D and C list supervillains. The half-man, half-shark, maybe he's a demigod guy, Harley Quinn, Captain Boomerang, all the supervillains they have locked up in jail. Put bombs in their necks and say, you do this mission for us, you get 10 years off your prison sentence. And if you try and cheat us, I blow up your head. So, it's definitely interesting. I actually really liked Suicide Squad movies in the past. Not the live-action one. Oh, hell no. That thing was atrocious. But I've liked a lot of the animated ones, like Assault on Arkham was amazing. Seriously, if you have not seen Assault on Arkham yet, go watch Assault on Arkham. It's really good. Sorry, I need to stop raving about DC's animated stuff because otherwise we'll be here all day because they do animation somehow way better than they do. Their animated stuff can be bad too. They have a few bad stuff. That weird Apocalypse Wins thing where, just post-apocalyptic Earth and they reset everything at the end and blew up the animated universe thing was really dumb. The Killing Joke movie was atrocious, but sorry, I'm getting off topic. Let's get back to the topic. Okay, so Amanda Waller, puts the bombs in her necks. And I do like how the movie gets straight to the point. It literally starts with this guy's in a cell. He's superhuman reflexes, whatever, trained master assassin. Amanda Waller's like, you got a job for you. 10 years off, usual deal, let's go. No time wasting explaining this. You all know why you're here. It's a Suicide Squad. Put the bombs in your neck. And, they have the whole thing. You get 10 years off your sentence if you succeed. Bombs in your neck. We will blow you up if you betray us. It's really straightforward to the point. I'm not going to spoil the big twist because there is kind of a twist when you run into it. There's a lot more to this movie if you go to the spoiler talk. Bloodshot's a lot more interesting. But again, I'm not going to go into the spoilers. So I'm just going to leave it there for the basic description. The villain is Starro. For those of you who don't know the villain, it was all over the trailer, so I don't feel bad about spoiling that. But Starro is a very weird Justice League villain. And he's basically a starfish who produces lots of other starfishes. And they attach to the faces of their victims and mind control them, make them a part of the hive. And in this movie he grows bigger the more people he settles to assume under his control. So he eventually turns into they actually even call it we have a kaiju! And it's oh yes, please, bring on the kaiju. So yeah. That's the main villain. Not really the main villain. Again, these guys are just trying to do a job, and it's more of them trying to succeed while being able to live with themselves afterwards because they're doing Black Ops work for the U.S. government. And, of course, it's Suicide Squad, so there's more going on. There's a bit of a double cross. There's, Waller's plans, because she always has a backup plan. And then there's the big twist that always comes to the Suicide Squad movie when the mission reveals itself to be much more complicated than it actually was, and usually puts a moral or social dilemma that turns part of the cast against each other because they're all supervillains. So, of course, given the slightest opportunity, they're going to go against each other, especially if Waller's given some of them secret orders. I'm not saying that whether that's happened or not. It's just what happens in Suicide Squad movies. Seriously, if you've watched any Suicide Squad stuff, you will have known that. You'll be waiting for what the big twist is for the mission. And I will say it's actually a really well executed twist that I think was interesting. I think the reasoning behind, God, this is going to be so hard to do. So certain actions of the characters are all very cohesive. That's all I'll say. Anyway, everyone in this is really good. The actress who plays Harley Quinn, she's amazing as usual. She was like the only good thing in Suicide Squad 1, and she's just doing great. They're really trying to push her. She gets a few solo scenes where she's like taking out people. She takes out, actually it's kind of funny. At one point she gets captured and she's being tortured. She manages to kill her, they leave her alone if she's knocked unconscious. Turns out she was knocked unconscious. She kills the guard that was left in there with him, frees herself, and goes on to kill the entire building. And then she gets out, is about to get into a cab to go, go find everyone else. And she looks out the street and she sees all of them. And they were planning on this big rescue mission, this big elaborate plan. They're all in position, watching the windows, getting ready to start, killing the one person that she forgot in the office. And she just walks up and is like, "Hey guys, what you doing?" It's like, "Wait, you already freed us?" It's like, "Yeah." It's like, "Wait, were you guys going to try and save me with this big elaborate mission?" It's like, "Yes, we had a lot of stuff planned." It's like, "Oh, well, I can go back in the room and chain myself up again if you like." It's like, no, you've ruined it. You've ruined it. I love that scene so much. It's wonderful. Anyway, so yeah. Good movie, a lot of fun. Nothing too amazing. Again, still think Assault on Arkham is probably the best Suicide Squad movie so far. It's animated, so watch that if you have the time. But this is definitely a good movie, and it shows that the DC movies are taking themselves a little less seriously. Although I say this just as I saw the Batman trailer before this movie, and oh my God, why? Why are we so stuck on Batman as a psychotic murderer thing? Seriously, the trailer shows him all dark and depressing with, I kid you not, black eyeliner, because, we need to make him even more edgy. And he's punching this guy over and over and over again until you can hear the cartilage breaking. And then he keeps punching him. It's like, when will Warner Brothers learn that Batman isn't a psychotic thug? He's a superhero. Write him like a superhero. We've had enough of, psycho Batman. Can we get some fun, campy Adam West style, but maybe taking a bit more seriously Batman? Stuff from the DC animated universe. That was good Batman. If you haven't watched the anime Batman series or the rest of the Superman series, the Justice League series, watch that stuff and then compare it to DC's current output and just cry. But Suicide Squad actually does remind me of a lot of that stuff. It's very fun. It's a bit more mature, a lot bloodier. You get to see people cut in half, brains and guts and blood and a bit more cursing. And I like they have that. That's nice. That's nice they have stuff like that. And it still has that, it has a lot of those more violent elements, but it still has the kind of fun tone I loved from the animated series. So, you know what? I'm excited to see what's in the future. I hope that they don't make that Batman movie because it looks horrible, but everything else I'm very excited for. DC is really turning things around. So yeah. Alright, on to spoilers. So for spoilers for this, first up, Harley Quinn's squad gets completely taken out. So the whole thing gets, they get to the beachhead, so they're dropping out of the plane, going onto the beach. That weird ferret thing dies in the opening scene. Spoiler alert, he's actually not dead. At the end credit scene, it looks like he drowns before they even get to the beach, but it's no, he's actually still alive. They just thought he drowned. I'm okay, that's weird. But, yeah, so everyone dies except for Rick, Flag, and Harley, who were the last, two people. Captain Boomerang gets shredded by a helicopter that got knocked out of the sky by one of the other idiots on the team. Rip Captain Boomerang. He was a lot of fun. The little time he was here, I actually kind of liked him. But, so Harley gets kidnapped by the currently new dictators of this weird, I guess, Caribbean-ish islands. and Rick Flag actually gets kidnapped by the rebels. Turns out Amanda Waller knew they had a traitor on their team that had told all the country about them being there. And she sent a second team. And that's the team we're following. That's the team with the Polka Dot Man, whose polka dots can disintegrate things. So, we have Bloodshot, which is sci-fi Deadshot. Same basic daughter motivation. Except he's a worse parent. We have Peacemaker, they have this whole joke about how each of you has been chosen for your unique skills and abilities. You're an assassin who's been trained from birth to be the best with every weapon. And then it's like, this is Peacekeeper. He's an assassin who was trained from birth to be the best with every weapon and fighting style. It's like, whoa, wait, I thought we were all chosen for our unique skills. It's like, I am unique. I'm better than you. It's like, and they go to this whole thing about smaller bullets, and then later it leads to the dumbest action scene that's also the best thing ever. Because they had this whole line about his bullets are smaller so he can shoot through the bullet wounds. And Bloodshot ends up firing a bullet at Peacekeeper, and they fire at the same time. And Bloodshot has a smaller bullet, and Peacekeeper's bullet is like this, buckshot kind of thing. Not buckshot, like a hollow round. So the tiny armor-piercing round kind of bullet pierces through it and kills Bloodshot while destroying his bullet, preventing him from getting shot. It's like, how? It's smaller bullet. It's just like, that is so dumb, and I love it. Just embrace the insanity. We get a lot of fun Harley Quinn scenes. You actually have this really fun moment where you really can tell that she's grown up from her abusive relationship with the Joker. It's like she gets kidnapped by the leader of the new leader of the country who overthrew the monarchs, and he's like, "You're an inspiration, the rebel." And it's like, soon we'll be able to send our kings and queens, send all of our citizens to suffer and die there. Children, dissenters, it didn't matter. They sent them in there to torture and die in those experiments in that cursed Nazi laboratory because the Nazis built it. It wasn't evil enough that it was like mind control, starfish, alien nonsense. It also had to be built by the Nazis. And then he started talking about this now we can start sending the Americans there. Their children can watch. And then all of a sudden, as he's finishing, he turns around, Harley just shoots him in the chest. And it's this beautiful thing. It's like, oh, I really thought we had something going there. Like, they had just had a whole makeout session and a romantic montage and everything. It's like, but I made a promise to myself that if I start seeing warning flags on another potential love interest, because I'm horrible at picking out men, that I would listen to the warning flags and kill you. Because it's better that you die because most of the men who I say no to don't take it well. It's just this moment of, wow, Harley has a system now. I mean, good for her, trying to be better, but it's just impressive. It's like, oh right, she's in psychology. She knows she already learned her mistake, and she's not gonna fall for this again. They actually really do show off that she's kind of like a genius. There's this one scene where one of the civilian tag-alongs they got from the Resistance gets shot, and they all duck for cover, and they're unsure if there's anyone else there after they kill the other guy. They forgot to shot them. They're unsure if there are any other enemies in the area. And Harley and the polka dot guy have an argument, and you get this moment where the polka dot guy gets so angry he stands up, and his head doesn't get shot off, so everyone else starts standing up. And I see this little smirk on Harley's face, and I'm like, oh, she did that on purpose to use him as a test dummy to make sure there were no other people waiting to shoot them. And it's like, oh, Harley, you're the best. I love you. You're amazing. Seriously, the actress who does Harley for this is just, she's having a great time. It's wonderful. The guy who does Bloodshot is also a decent amount of fun. His weapons are just awesome. He's all of his weapons are tiny little miniature, little boxes. He pulls them off his suit and they turn into guns and knives and stuff like that. And he can stack multiple of them on top of each other to mod his weapons. It's really cool. Don't really know any lore for him, but it's not really important. So, Anyway, that's basically it. They break in, they discover that the big twist. Okay, so the big twist is that the U.S. government actually discovers Starro. but they didn't want to do unethical experiments on U.S. soil because, that's questionably legal. So they sent it off, they outsourced it to this, Caribbean monarchy so they could do the experiments and the U.S. could profit. But after they were overthrown by, the new rulers, the U.S. that weren't friendly with the U.S., they were like, we gotta delete the evidence. So they were instructed to destroy the building because on the hard drives is evidence that the U.S. government supplied this to them. And it turns out it's not Rick Flag. He's actually really annoyed about this. He's like, Amanda, and he's trying to take the evidence, and the peacekeeper, okay, so his big thing is that he believes in peace by any means necessary, so he's willing to do anything to make peace, even kill children and stuff like that, so it's like, I do everything to maintain the peace, even if it means slaughtering 100 innocent souls so 1,000 can have peace. That is the right thing to do. Pure utilitarian philosophy. So Waller trusted him with a secret mission to make sure that no one got that stuff out. So he gives everybody a warning. He says, put it down, I'll break it, and we can all leave here. And afterwards, after they refuse, he immediately starts trying to kill them. And there's this thing where the rat catcher's daughter, her thing is she can control rats. She's a lot of fun. She's kind of the innocent millennial child archetype. Always trying to sleep. She has a little pet rat that's really intelligent, constantly trying to be friendly with people. It's all nice and cute. After he kills Rick, but he managed to get the drive to her. She runs away, and he managed to catch her before Bloodshot falls down literally out of the ceiling to save her, through pure accident, because this is, organized chaos at this point. She's like, why don't you just destroy the drive? It's like, I don't leave loose ends. It's like, because there's a chance she might try and, prove it anyway, since she was so willing to attach to the drive. So it's like, it's not worth the risk that you might try and ruin the safety and cause an international incident. So if you're not willing to put down the drive, that means you might do anything in your power to continue doing this. So I have to kill you now. It's like, it's like the idea of being a peacekeeper taken to its logical insanity. It's insane extreme. Not even its logical extreme. It's insane extreme. The shark guy is kind of interesting. He might be a demigod, which is kind of weird. He's bulletproof, so that probably is true. And he's really dumb in all the characters. There's a moment where he tries to eat the rat catcher's daughter girl, and he's like, but I'm hungry. It's like, put her down. It's like, and then she's like, what if we were friends? Would you not eat us if we were friends? Like, if we were friends, I wouldn't eat you. So they all decide to become friends with him. It's hilarious. And he's constantly just wanting to snack on things the whole movie. And by things, I mean people. Yeah. You gotta taste some human flesh. That's why he was in prison. The polka dot guy is kind of funny. His whole thing is that his mother tortured him to make him into a superhero, but he became a supervillain because he killed her, after he was driven kind of crazy, and now he sees everyone as her. And he has to, focus on not seeing them as her, because if he tries to really believe they're her, he'll want to kill them. He's insane. He has to puke up the polka dots every once in a while, otherwise they'll kill him. And he can throw them at people, and they literally destroy anything they touch. Complete disintegration. So, they have the whole thing, they destroy the base, Starro gets loose, and Amanda Waller, there's a big scene where Amanda Waller is, telling them, alright, you got the drive, get out of there. No, this will probably be good for our country. Maybe we can, spin our way or whatever. And they're like, you're going to leave this thing to destroy an entire country. We're not doing that, Waller. Some of us actually have what might pass as a knockoff conscience, and we're not willing to let an entire country become subjugated by Starro. Also, think of what can happen afterwards. It's like, and as they throw back, she's just trying to blow their heads up. And all the little background characters who have been working in the office this whole time, placing bets on when they're going to die and kind of getting really worried about Amanda Waller doing things like saying she's going to make sure Bloodshot's daughter ends up in prison if he doesn't agree for the mission. They've all kind of gotten sick of it. And so right as she's about to blow off Deadshot's head, one of the little the little secretaries people takes her golf club and just smacks her head and knocks her out. It's hilarious. It's this huge stand-up moment. They're like, well, get to work. It's like, oh wow, I didn't think she was gonna be the one who did it. I thought it was gonna be that, I think it's the chick who plays, what was her name? She was, She was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. She was a partner to Mac. Bobby. I think she's the same lady who played Bobby in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Regardless. Anyway. So yeah. That's Suicide Squad. Pretty good movie. Definitely recommend. We're kind of running out of time. So yeah. If you'd like to support us, you can support us by going to Buy Me a Coffee and, donating $1 or $2. That'd be really helpful. Really help us with some of these costs. Buzzsprout does have a, membership. It does cost money to keep Buzzsprout up and keep all these episodes, online. So it'd be real help if you could donate some. In addition, you can follow us on Dragon_Library2, at Dragon_Library2 on Twitter. So that'd be a big help as well. Share this with anybody you can. Seriously, thank you everybody who's watching these videos. It means a lot to me. And that's about it. Next time we're going to be watching that Masters of the Universe series. So that's going to be interesting. I've never seen anything like that. The only part of that series I've ever seen is the She-Ra reboot. So we'll see how that goes. All right. Bye. I hope you enjoyed listening to this episode, and thank you for listening to the Dragon's Library. Please subscribe to this podcast to be notified of new episodes. The Dragon's Library releases new episodes Tuesday and Friday each week, and you can follow us on Twitter at Dragon_Library2. If you want to suggest an episode topic, my email is in the description below. And as always, thank you so much for all your support.